Happy Saturday, October 24th. Good to have you on the channel. Great morning of running. Lots to say. I can't wait to dive in. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. I basically talk about my runs and running in general. Love to get feedback from you guys and let me know what you guys are up to as well when it comes to your runs. So anyways, let's dive in to tell you what happened today. I was actually scheduled to do a 7-mile long run and had a route which actually worked out perfect. It was basically a loop and not too many hills. I mean, a couple hills and a couple, slight little undulations, if you will. I live out here in Phoenix, in a community called Ahwatukee, which is, part of Phoenix Metropolitan. Quite a few hills actually in the neighborhood. So it's really hard to find routes that are flat. This particular area, there are some downhills, some flats, and then a couple of small uphills. Overall, it's a really good route. I've actually never run this particular route for 7 miles, but I've run portions of the route, when I was doing other miles. So today, it just happened to work out great. Now, as those of you who've been following me, my running is starting to get back into what I was doing, before COVID months ago. I'm feeling good. Today, my goal was to keep it, close to maybe 10 or just under 10 minutes. And I would have been ecstatic if I ran faster than 9:45. But so this is how it went. Started out, and for me, that first mile is always the toughest because, you're starting to breathe a little bit, trying to get that pace set to what you want to accomplish, and it takes a little bit of time before you kind of settle in. My first half mile or so was starting to go uphill a little bit, and then it went downhill, and then kind of flat, and then went downhill a little bit again as I got into the mile. But it was a nice start actually, and I ran better than expected. Just looking at my data here, so my first mile that I ran was a 9:36, which is good. There was a slight drop in elevation. I mean, basically, it was gain of 22 and a loss of 57. So, slight downhill. Hit that 9:36, and then the next mile, another 9:36, and the third mile is 9:34. I was really starting to click. And then the fourth mile, 9:32. So I was well within like a couple seconds on those first 4 miles. Basically, my slowest was 9:36 and my fastest was 9:32. And I knew after the first couple miles that, okay, this feels good. My heart rate was hovering on average like 126, close to that, which is good. I wasn't running anaerobic, and I wasn't doing an easy run so much, but I was feeling good. It was after the 4th mile, going into the 5th mile, that I hit 9:44. That's when I started a little bit of a climb. It's like 78 feet gain and 48 loss, so I netted 30-foot gain, which isn't that bad. It really isn't that bad at all, but consider it a little bit uphill. And then at mile 6, I remember that is starting to go up this hill as well, and that was a 76-foot climb with a 16 drop. So a 60-foot net, if you will. And I ran that one good. It was 9:42. In fact, those 2 miles at 6 and excuse me, 5 and 6 were 9:44 and 9:42, which is only about 10 to 12 seconds slower than the previous 4 miles. So my breathing was getting up there. It was starting to, my right knee was getting a little bit sore. My heart rate, it says there, was like 134 to 135, which is about right. I was starting to feel a little bit going up, a little bit of a climb. But then when I got to, it's Chandler Boulevard and Desert Foothills, you make a right turn, you start heading east. I looked at my watch and I was going about 9:28, 9:30, and I felt good. So I told myself, just hold on. When I hit 6.75 with a quarter mile to go, I told myself to, pick it up. And I closed out with like 1:56 on the quarter. So it's not lightning speed or anything. But, it was definitely on par for a sub 8 mile for just that quarter mile stretch. I felt really good. Overall, this was probably my best long run, if you will. I haven't had too many, over the last couple months. But this one felt really good, controlled. I'd probably give myself on the RPE, which is a rate of perceived exertion. Rate of perceived exertion. Some of you may be familiar with it. If not, it's basically a scale that goes from 1 to 10. 10 being fully exhausted, like you're being chased by a lion, is what I like to say. And 1 is basically like a walk. For the first 4 miles, I felt like I was at a 6 for effort, which is good. Normally, I'm feeling like I'm about close to like an 8. So I probably got up to an 8 though, the last couple of miles or so. But other than that, I'm telling you, I'm so grateful to start to get this back. Still not where I was prior to COVID back in the middle of July, but I'm definitely a lot better. I feel stronger, like I've kind of gone through, like my wife said this morning, a breakthrough, which is good. So it's just in time too, because the weather here in Phoenix is starting to turn. It's been a rough summer, very hot, as a lot of the nation has been kind of warmer than usual for the most part, I believe. We've had really just a lot of record-breaking temps. But it's been like in the mid-90s, 94 or so yesterday. Today is going to be, I think, in the low 90s. And then I believe we hit the 80s tomorrow, upper 80s, and then the storm front moves in late Sunday, Monday, maybe a little Tuesday. We might get some rain out of it. We're going to see temperatures drop down. I saw some stations here say that we're going to get into the upper 60s for highs, and the lows are going to be in the mid 40s, upper 40s, which, I love that. I don't know if I necessarily have to have my headband or gloves yet, but it'll definitely be a shock to the system. Those mornings I won't be wearing these tanks anymore, which is surprising because the calendar says October 24th, but it's been feeling like end of September, really. So we're going to be getting into normal temperatures, which are in the upper 80s, getting close to that like 85, 86 mark for averages, and we're going to basically be in the 60s, 70s, and 80s this coming week, so I'm totally excited. This is, I guess, why we live here in Phoenix, not for the summer months, but for the 5 or 6 months that we have in mild winter and spring. So very excited. That's all the news I have for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me know how your running is going. Are there any races that you guys are doing or training for? Here in Phoenix, we have a few small races, nothing big, nothing like those, competitor large, 10,000 races, but more or less like your local small running groups. We've had a couple here locally in the neighborhood by a coach and friend of ours, probably like 50, 60 runners all together, so it's relatively small. And there'll be a couple more coming up. As far as turkey trots in the Thanksgiving time, doesn't seem like there's a lot. I think there's still maybe one that is still happening as of now. And then another one with our local coach who's going to be putting on a small invite-only race. So it's nice to have the competition when we're practicing social distancing and take advantage of the good weather that we have out here. Hopefully you guys are experiencing some good fall weather. But yeah, let me know. Are you guys starting to put on the gloves or headbands? Is it pretty cold? I know certain parts of the area, like in the Midwest, they're feeling the chill. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so down at the bottom, and please leave your comments down below. And until next time, we'll catch you on the next video. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Take care. Bye.